Welcome back to Let's Use the C Word. I have to say, this is an update I had no kind of idea that I'd be able to give you at this early stage in the process. So today's Sunday, and Thursday, very late on Thursday evening, I was actually discharged from hospital, as you can tell from the background. So basically what happened was my surgeon was monitoring various bits and pieces, and there were a couple of things that they needed to get into an area of normality in terms of around my bloods. I think one of them was potassium and iron, and I think there might have been a third as well. But basically on Thursday, he was comfortable based on the blood tests that I'd had in the morning, that these had all been brought into an area that they were quite comfortable with. And more than that, that there was a trajectory of it moving towards that direction as well. The only one that wasn't quite there was the iron, and I'll touch on that in a bit. But so yes, so Thursday late evening, we kind of packed up all my bits and pieces. There's, as anybody who's been in hospital knows, it takes quite a long time to actually go through the discharge process itself, because you've got to make sure that you've got all of the medication that you'll need when you go home. Things like obviously pain relief, antibiotics to clobber this chest infection, and the pain relief obviously isn't just one drug, it's multiple. I've then got, based on the iron, so I've got an iron supplement, and then you get various things. So for example, I have to give myself an injection every day to help prevent clotting, because again, just because of the slight lack of activity compared to norm. So yes, it's been a little bit of a bonkers couple of days, but in a really, really good way, because one of the things that my surgeon said is the thing that you have to focus on now is rest, recovery. He said, you know, you've got a long way to go, but the rest part of that, as wonderful as hospital is, and you know, the fact that people are obviously there to look after you, keep an eye on you, is so vitally important. The very nature of that and the fact that you're in a busy hospital means that, you know, just generally getting rest in the day and even in the night is actually quite difficult to do. I reckon that probably in the day I probably had no more than an hour where there wasn't some kind of interruption, whether it was somebody coming to take your blood pressure, your temperature, administer whatever kind of medication was due at the time. And then in the evening, that really only extended out to about 2 hours. Just because of the short periods of time between the various medications that I'm on. So he said to me, look, if you're confident enough, because it absolutely gave me an input into whether this happened or not, then I'm comfortable with you coming home. So that's what happened on Thursday evening. Another amazing aspect to that is it was Amy and I's 15th wedding anniversary on Thursday as well. So to be able to be here that evening was, yeah, something really quite special. So yes, I've been home. I've been, it's an interesting journey, because you are home, but you're still very, very much recovering. One of the things that we had to have training on Thursday was my feed, which I have through the night. So there's about 12 and a half hours feeding through the night. So I've got a pump that connects to my feeding tube. And that does various things as well, because it plays complete havoc with your digestive system. Well, it plays havoc because I haven't got what was my digestive system. I've got a newer version of it. So there's two things happening there. There's one, that my feed is obviously giving me the nutrients that I need in order to be okay and have the strength to continue to recover. And the second is I've got to then train my new version of my digestion 2.0 to basically process what's being given. And it's not unusual for that to cause some challenges, and it's causing some challenges. And that's quite difficult to manage, because the other side of that is so I'm starting to eat orally, pureed food only at the moment, but it has various phases. So phase 1 is puree only, and then phase 2, we go to slightly more solid meals, and then that kind of follows various different patterns, which I'll talk you through as I go through them. And obviously it's important to maintain these little and often type approach to eating orally. And the advice or the kind of guidance you're given is if you can fit a portion in the palm of your hand, that's the kind of quantity you want to be trying to be aiming to eat. And they say to try and do like a breakfast, a mid-morning snack, a lunch, an afternoon snack, a dinner, and then maybe an evening snack if you're feeling up to it. Now, obviously, that's great, but if the feeding process in the evening is causing a few little challenges in digestion space, then persuading yourself to eat on top of that is quite tricky. So we've got some bits and pieces to go through. The pain is, it's okay. It's okay. It's not great, but it's manageable. At night, it's quite tricky, and I think it's probably because where I'm sleeping, because you've got to sleep on your back when you're being fed overnight, because otherwise, you've got to create that kind of gravity approach to help with what's going on here. And obviously, sleeping at an angle where you're not used to doing that, that's actually, it's a little bit uncomfortable. And what that also does is put pressure points on where the main surgery has been. So kind of here. So yeah, we'll work through it. It'll all be fine. But so unbelievably delighted to be home. Amy's been phenomenal in picking up what has been a real roller coaster of both education, but organisation. Again, some wonderful messages from people as well. So again, huge thank you to all of you for all of those messages. I've said it before and I really do mean it. It makes such a huge, huge difference. So I will keep you informed as to how I'm getting on. It's a long way to go. It's a huge step in the right direction. I'm incredibly grateful to be able to have done it. The nurse that actually gave me my discharge letter said that normally patients that have gone through a similar procedure to mine usually are in hospital between 1 month and 3 months, often intensive care for 14 days. So to be out on day 8 was a little bit mind-blowing, to say the least, but I did as I'm told, so it would appear it works. So I'll keep you informed as to how things are progressing, and look forward to catching up soon. Thanks a lot.